January 15th, plus 5 degrees. Looks like this trip will end before it even starts. No way I'll get to Norway walking over water. January 17th. Norway's not that far, just 200 kilometers, but conditions could turn above my level. You never know. Januaries are not so cozy. In a few days, I'll turn 60. Looks like this is the setting and company I chose for my birthday party. I noticed this trail on a map from 1890. Although still used by locals, the trail seems to be missing on most maps used today. Stuordata, I guess that is how to pronounce it. This is a real lake, not one of those reservoirs. Probably unchanged since the last ice age 10,000 years ago. Water ski. Rule number 1, bring Bermuda shorts for Januaries. Following snowmobile tracks is always a good idea. Locals know better. This one should lead to that old uphill trail forking of Kungsleden. Very hidden. They really put an official gateway sign. Neat. This must be it then. Disneyland for the boisterous YouTube adventurer. In a smart move, Sweden turned this into a national park more than 100 years ago. That was even before they had accurate maps. 100 years later, the unknown got cancelled, but the uncertainty lurks as ever. Weather forecast is a mess. Fuck. This hike feels tainted. Hardly enough snow to anchor snow pegs. Loads of rising water under the snow surface. Weather report says gusts up to 38 meters per second from southwest. Surprise. Now the storm comes from northwest, exposing the weak side of the tent. I expect it to get torn and blown to pieces any second. Better to stay fully dressed and packed up all night ready to evacuate. It is 12 kilometers back to the car. I can do that in the middle of the night, no problem. Better chicken out now than sorry later. I bet they arranged this weather for me on purpose. Well, all this is so kind compared to my ex-wife. I better stay another day and wait for this storm to calm. Would have been nice to get to that inviting hut just 11 kilometers away, but it's a private hut, probably locked. But then, you never know. Why am I so lazy to pitch a tent? It's embarrassing. I guess this is why people urge me to stay home. But I did not ask for advice. January 19th. No snowmobile tracks hereafter. Wet snow keeps freezing under the cold pulka. It is like pulling a truck with blown tires. Days are short, barely 6 hours of usable light. No time for these breaks every few minutes. If this goes on, I have to quit. Nothing wrong with bailing out and escaping back to Kvikkjokk as long as this is possible. I don't have to prove anything. Stratospheric clouds. Every day. What does that mean? Hello, wind. Stay up there. At least no deep snow conditions where every step has you sinking in up to your knees. That would cut progress in half with twice the effort. But this is perfect. Should have taken normal BC ski instead of these giant surfboards. If temperatures would drop below freezing point, everything would be fine. Taking a bicycle in a big city is dangerous. This is nothing. Unspoiled. Mountains of tranquility. The ancestors of the Sami people arrived here approximately 5,000 years ago. That was about the time they built pyramids in Egypt. But the nomadic people left little evidence of their presence, and the exact history is largely unknown. Life must have been rough back then. January 20th. It takes me 3 hours to leave camp, no matter how hard I push. This is from the moment of waking up to the first actual meters back on track. If I don't check direction every 20 seconds, I'll end up walking in circles like in some silly Technicolor movie from the 50s, where they script this in for dramatic purposes. You don't exactly meet a lot of people around here in January. Snowmobile tracks disappeared not far after that gateway sign. Tourists are just too lazy to walk up here in winter. No, it is not like this requires a lot of skills, but there is just no drinking and dancing after a fun day in the snow. No sign of destruction out here. At least that is the illusion and unique selling point. This looks like a trip to times before the omnipresent rattle of rolling suitcases. Back then, every trip was an individual adventure to unknown territories, all done without travel insurance. A meteorologist by the name of Manne Hoffling vanished September 25th, 1917, somewhere up there. He was on duty on that little weather station built by Axel Hamburg at 1,800 meters. On a downhill trip for supplies, he was surprised by a sudden snowstorm. Hoffling's body was never found, and his whereabouts remained a mystery. Decades later, in 1974, someone found a watch, a barometer, and a golden ring. They later allocated those items to Manne Hoffling. Why would he have left his belongings by a rock before he disappeared? Maybe I should stop looking at inconclusive traces. In fact, I have no solid clue why I am here. It is brutally uncomfortable, and although beautiful, the world is not a peep show where you have to hurry from one stunt to the other. Rapadalen, point of no return for me. I don't think I can pull those 3-week supplies back up over those many small but steep steps. Akta, downstream, could be an escape. But that melted lake and river down there is not inviting and might be dangerous. I don't want to go there right now. I have an extra week for safety. Rule number 1, stop being lazy setting up that tent. Get a solid base deep down for a start. Not sure about the next days. Following those rapids upstream in darkness is a bit challenging. Ice is too weak this year. It's not possible to make best route decisions in the dark. January 21st. Now it is about following that river upstream to the center of these mountains. In darkness between iced-up rocks, dead-end forks, and rapids, it can be confusing. Headlights do not help at that range beyond 50 meters, where small-scale route decisions are made. If I bump up the headlights, I get blinded from foreground objects. I have to turn the light off to see into the dark. Dr. Feel-Good Weather. Sun is overrated. It sure feels good when this void stares back at me. I hope there won't be any fresh snow. I have to cross that avalanche valley in some days, no matter what. broke through thin ice twice in the morning. Fortunately, the riverbed is not deep in winter. Interwoven gaiters, pants, boots, and straps keeps all water out. Rule number 1, don't break through ice. Water keeps icing under the pulka. Instead of gliding with ease, it's like dragging a plow. All these cleaning stops. Should have brought a windshield scraper. Would make a stylish combo with that toilet brush. Would be great to get to that quota tomorrow. Just to skip that tent pitching procedure. I was there a few years ago. Peace and solitude. Highest value currency. January 22nd. One of the few original spots left. It is not so extreme, but I don't have to stand in line to get to some summit. That wouldn't make sense to me. Despite the name of this camera, it is not heroic to be here, and without all that gear from China, I would be helpless. But long time ago, I had a friend back in LA. Every year, he went to a monastery for a retreat and meditation. This here looks more appealing to me. Now, put this camera away maybe. just 1,800 meters high, Bielorype. They did not care to give names to all those individual peaks. By today's standards, way too boring to attract the big players and showboats. Finally, it is getting cold. Last year in January, I had temperatures dropping well below minus 30 degrees. That's all I'm asking. Skip the tent pitch for a historic experience. That is a great excuse for being lazy. Rule number 1, treat that gas stove like a freaking explosive. January 23rd. Spokestain in territory. Sami myth claims the girl's ghost appears when you camp on the wrong side of that boulder somewhere up there. Myth says she committed suicide there, but they don't tell you which side of the rock you are supposed to use though. It must be true, because it is in the map. The only ghost I see is myself. Satellite weather not looking too good. In a few days, I might get in trouble. Skarja. This sounds like the name of some beach resort to me. We crossed there back in the 80s, shooting 16mm film. That was before they put this little bridge over the gorge every summer. We carried an Eclair NPR through the rapids over there. That thing had the weight of a tank. One of those friends drowned some years later on a boat trip. Vojotedno, just north of Sarek. I lost contact with the other ones. German precision lock, again. Back from the time when that origin had weight, and there were principles I could understand. Somebody should tell them it's time to switch the brand, just to be sure. They left the doors of Jurassic Park open, and now I'm here to complain. I hope this guy does not hate me too much for abusing his tool shed. I will leave it as I found it. Sleeping on this dirty floor has more dignity to me than a five-star hotel. Just my opinion. Even though I qualify, I don't like being treated like in a retirement home. No need to put those slippers in front of the bed for me. January 24th. It is as if time stood still. If there weren't any satellites in the night sky, there would be no hint of man ever existed. Even planes rarely cross this area. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being with us. Do you need help with your luggage? I think I've been in this valley long time ago, but I don't remember clearly. I do remember a fence I once climbed in a heavy rain. Now there are 3 fences, one after another. Only one is in the map. "17 kilometers to go this day. I don't want to camp in this avalanche valley." On July 28, 1879, the cartographer Gustav Wilhelm Bucht from Luleå was the first person to climb this mountain. He also helped charting the largely unknown terrain. A few years later, Sarek was mentioned as a potential tourist site for the first time. Textbook spot for an avalanche. You can see it sticking up there waiting for you. Stop moving like a turtle. On the other hand, conditions are good. No wind, no recent snowfalls, moderate temperatures, and no avalanche sightings anywhere, etc. But then, you never know. This valley is like a superhighway for the delusionals. With a pair of snow chains, you could drive any car through here. Now I know why those few organized tours like to take this valley. In 1657, a guy by the name of Page Anderson found silver somewhere near here. A few years of desperate mining followed. Poor people had to transport the rocks to what was later to become the village of Kvikkjokk. That is where the processing and silver smelting took place. About 100 people were involved overall. But there was no profit. Only a few kilograms of silver a year came out of these efforts. Mining operations ceased, but the Christian missionaries stayed. Long after the end of mining operations, they built this little chapel in 1788. Time travel. It looks like nothing changed. I've read it is still one of the most inaccessible churches in the world. Some things are so long ago, you can't be sure they actually happened. The mind plays all kinds of tricks on you. Somebody must have forgotten to put this guest book back in the box. Frozen graffitis. All these people. Visitors dating back to the 70s. Maybe I came all the way to this remote location to check if my past is not some form of imagination. True memories. 1984. Little did he know about what was to come that day. It was before cell phones, internet, and all of that. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. It was before idiots took control and shit hit the fan. Fast forward to a place frozen in time. Just a little vacation from the proclaimed realities of now. Real or just imagined events left behind. No news and cell phone reception in this church, which I might not have ever completely left. can't deny simple realities here. January 25th. From now on, it's about getting out. Navigation in this weather is a disaster, but wind has no evil intentions. At home, bad judgment will have people around you suffer. Here, only the idiot gets punished. Rule number 1, don't think you are any smart. I should reconsider these trips. This is right below the official inaccessibility pole of Sweden, and maybe all of Western Europe. And this guy locked his earth toilet like some treasure box. Must have had bad experiences, I guess. People just can't keep anything nice. Looks to me, he even made sure this hut is erased from the map entirely. Even smarter, the hut is in a wrong position on that other map. If you can't keep intruders away, confuse them. I can relate. Stop bitching. This rock is about all I see for hours. Impossible to capture the struggle on camera. There is no visible structure anywhere. Just when I thought I would not find the way. Look for the one with the antenna. Pure luxury, but don't get too excited you're not home yet. A night in here is just 500 even. I wonder how they haul all that gas out here for us holiday explorers. Must be expensive. January 26th, 60 kilometers, Padjelanta back to Kvikkjokk or Sulitjelma-Norway. Either way, it's the same distance. If things go south, I have supplies for another 2 weeks. Rule number 1, you are not in a hurry. This is recreational. Stay put. In fact, this is the most exclusive hotel in the world. No need to hurry away. Must be popular in summer. Now there will be no one for another 2 months or so. First winter tour people should be here in March. I don't expect someone knocking on that door. Wonder if Carl Linnaeus came through here in 1732 when he made his famous passage to Norway. He also started in Kvikkjokk. Those were really early years out here. I did not find reliable info about his exact route. I assume he passed Staloluokta. Virihaure is a huge lake. Locals must have guided him there, even though this lake only shows up on maps as late as 1795. I hope to get to Virihaure tomorrow, 20 kilometers. Staloluokta, maybe 100 huts scattered on a large area along 2 lakes. No sign of anyone. Ghost town. This is like in some zombie movie. The end of time has come. I am on the run. Everything is locked and abandoned already. Maybe I'm the only one left. You hope to find some temporary shelter and some supplies to make another day. Now why would I feel attracted to this doomsday scenario? But there is no one after me. Not out here. January 28th. There are no hard feelings and bad intentions, just bad weather. If if this would be all nice and cozy, it would be packed with people like all the other places I've been to. Selfies here, selfies there. Do you want me to take you guys' picture? I've seen people lining up a full 100 meters to get that one decisive selfie just under the torii of the Hakone Jinja Shrine, Japan. January 29th. This is at 818 meters. Finally, Norway. End of European Union. Nobody checking ID. This is really off the grid. At least in Januaries. Don't trust the weather. Just some more kilometers to this Sorjos hut. Should be open. It feels like I do the whole tour without pitching a tent once. This is unheard of. Plain and clean as a white piece of paper. No need to smear your silly thoughts on this canvas. Its purity and beauty speaks for itself. Final rule: there is no meaning. Stop thinking. Frozen door. No. Birthday party. Terrain trap. Now, how the hell will I get up there? There is no other way. I'd hate to hike back to Padjelanta. The map does not reveal this to be a basin open only in the direction towards Sweden. I did not expect to build my own roads. Fortunately, this snow is soft. Little did I know what was waiting for me behind this hill. Spent another 2 days climbing down 30+ degrees, iced up slopes, rock hard, slippy ice, whiteouts with zero visibility. I finally strapped the shovel and tent pegs under the pulka for a continuous brake and some sideways stability, but the pulka kept sliding sideways, overturning, and hanging downhill like a pendulum. Without the crampon-style snowshoes, there would have been no way to Sulitjelma. This is goodbye for me. This video, if not erased, is a window to a beautiful past. I will revisit in my mind a few more times as long as possible. From now on, it will be kind company and Michelin star-rated restaurants only.